my god, that is a freaking lizard. Lizards live in my house and it grosses me out. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about baby led weaning. So I get so many questions on how Grayson eats so well and how he feeds himself and how I just did it. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing every single thing that I did to help Grayson to be able to independently feed himself. So starting off with, what is baby led weaning? So I went ahead and I typed in on my phone baby led weaning definition, and this is what the definition says. It says, a method of introducing solid food into a baby's diet by allowing them to feed themselves as opposed to being spoon fed. So I'm just gonna put it out there. I never knew what baby led weaning was until I had a baby and I started looking up purees, and then I saw baby led weaning and I read about it and I was like, yep, we're doing that. So starting off with the basics, you want to definitely have the clear, the go plus, the go ahead from your pediatrician, your child's pediatrician. You want to make sure that the doctor thinks that they are ready to even start purees or solids or whatever you choose to do with your kid. So I believe Grayson was 4 months old when he got the okay to start, the rice cereal and like the rice oatmeals and stuff like that. So of course, when Grayson was 4 months old, I was super excited to start introducing to him, like these rice cereals and everything like that. So doing my research and kind of talking more to the pediatrician, I found out that, rice doesn't really do anything for the baby. It has no nutrition and really nothing for the baby. It's kind of more so of a texture thing and just introducing something to your child. So that same night I went home and I tried the rice cereal. Grayson hated that. He did not like it at all. So when we went back to his doctors, we told them like, hey, he doesn't like this. I think it's because it tastes like literally nothing and it could be a texture thing. So then the doctor was like, okay, this is like his 5-month appointment now. The doctor was like, okay, you can try to give him the oatmeal and introduce that to him slowly, but do it consistent, so then that way he can figure out if he likes it, the taste, the texture, and things like that, because this is all new. So we did try that with Grayson. He still didn't like it. So now moving on to when Grayson was 6 months old. So when Grayson was 6 months old, I still was on edge about introducing baby led weaning to him. And even talking with Ramon, which is Grayson's dad, talking with him and being like, how do you feel about doing baby led weaning? He liked the idea of doing baby led weaning because then we could all sit down and have a meal together. But at the same time, we were scared because, what if he choked? What if he did this? What if something happened? That was kind of the thought in our head. So we actually did not start baby led weaning as soon as he was like 6 months old. The only like baby led weaning that we did when he was 6 months old was giving him like, puffs and little snacks like that he fed himself. But for a while, I would say, I made all of Grayson's food purees. So I would puree sweet potato, I would puree carrots. I actually have the carrots one on my channel already, so I'll have it linked in case you guys are leaning more towards the puree side. But yes, I have that. I would do green beans, apples, pears, anything that could have done or been made by puree, I did it and I fed it to him that way. So I did that for a few weeks, I would say even a few months of Grayson's life. And then we moved. So then when we moved into our apartment is kind of when Ramon and I both agreed that we wanted to do baby led weaning, and we felt safe and we felt like Grayson understood what food was, especially because he would see us eating and he would kind of like want our food. So that was kind of like our our go-to. And then of course talking to the pediatrician, and the pediatrician was like, yeah, that sounds great, you could have even started that at 6 months old. So anyways, I want to say we started baby led weaning at 7 months or 8 months. I'm not too sure exactly when, but we started off slow. I followed a couple of Instagram accounts And let me pull up like my favorite one that I follow, and I will have it linked in my description in case you guys are new or you need pointers. But I would follow Feeding Littles on Instagram, and they break through everything: portion size, how to serve it, and just different ideas when it comes to offering, you know, baby-led weaning, of course. So we started off with like things such as rice and beans. We would do toast, we would do pancakes. And when we would serve like toast, for example, we would cut it into strips, and we would offer him it not by a lot. We would just put it on his plate and offer him like 2 pieces of toast with like, I don't know, with like a few grapes or a few blueberries, of course cut in half for safety reasons because you don't want your child to choke. The reason why we would only do small portions is because this is new when it comes to the baby, and this is just new in general. And I don't want like Grayson to feel overwhelmed, like, oh my god, what is all of this? Because then it gives them that image of they're not going to want to touch it or they're not going to want to eat it. But when it's like fewer pieces, they're kind of more intrigued and they want to know what it is. Okay, so when we first started doing this with Grayson and introducing to him the foods, at first he was very iffy about, you know, touching the blueberries or touching the toast. So honestly, sometimes it may have sat there for a while, and then he would finally pick it up and he would taste it and then maybe put it down and drop it because he was unsure of it. And that's how it went for a little while, until he understood like, oh, this is good, this is food. But that is completely normal because baby-led weaning is supposed to be more fun for the child when they're at that younger age. Since they are still, you know, drinking milk and everything like that, they're getting full through other ways. But once Grayson figured out what food was, he ate it like nothing. Toast, all gone. Blueberries, all gone. So that was pretty simple. Honestly, there's so many different allergies that babies can develop throughout the years, and you could ask your pediatrician for a list of like allergens that you should give your baby to try, like peanut butter, eggs, things like that. We introduced to Grayson right away, and luckily my mother-in-law cooked him fish, and even my mom cooked him fish because I don't like fish at all. I can't stand the smell of it, and they would give it to him, and he didn't have an allergic reaction or anything like that to any of the allergens, which I'm so happy for. But definitely would recommend doing the allergens first, just to make sure that your child does not have any like allergies or allergic reactions to the foods. But okay, so now I'm going to move on to more so of like utensils and everything, because I got a lot of questions on how do I have Grayson using like a spoon or a fork. So this is something that I made the mistake of. I did not introduce a spoon or a fork early on to starting baby-led weaning because I felt like it was too overwhelming to put everything at once. But I should have offered it anyways, even if the spoon ended up on the floor or just in his hand. But now that he's older, I definitely do offer him a spoon all the time with like his rice or anything that can use a spoon. And he knows the concept of a spoon goes in my mouth. He's not the best at scooping up things, but sometimes if he'll like smash a bean on the spoon and it's on there, then he'll feed it to himself. So I'm grateful and thankful that like now he's able to slowly get the hang of introducing like a spoon and a fork to him. So if that's something that you guys are concerned about, just offer it with every single meal that they need a spoon or a fork for. I definitely think that you guys will find that very, very helpful in the future. Another benefit of baby-led weaning for Ramon and I is that we can sit down and we could all eat together, and we're not stressed out or angry at each other like, you feed him, no, you feed him, or anything like that. We're all able to eat the same thing also. That's another plus. Like what I cook for dinner, like rice, beans, and chicken, chicken nugget is eating that as well. Chicken nugget is Grayson, if you guys did not know, but yes, he will sit down with us and we will all eat that as well. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about what I make for Grayson to eat and how I like prepare his meals. So if you guys were listening, like earlier I said he eats what we eat, and that's pretty much how I do it. He eats what we eat. I don't like sugarcoat anything for him. I don't simplify anything for it. Obviously, if it's like spicy foods, because Ramon and I love our spicy foods, we will like separate like the chicken. We'll make ours spicy and make his, you know, like normal seasonings that we would eat. We just won't put like spices on it because we use hot flavors and spices like that. But that's the only thing that we really do different for him. Oh, and another thing, my child is lactose intolerant just like me, so we have to substitute a lot of his like dairy options. For example, like the milk that he drinks is almond milk, the cheese that we use is dairy free, the yogurt that we use is coconut milk. So stuff like that we do have to incorporate in our meals. But I haven't found a mac and cheese that's like dairy free. I need to like do more research because mac and cheese is probably an easy meal, but I just can't prepare that for him, so I like do pasta over mac and cheese and different things like that. But Grayson eats whatever I eat, so you could definitely customize your baby's food to whatever you guys eat in your household. Okay, so another thing that I want to talk about are the utensils and everything that we use with Grayson. So a couple of Grayson's plates are actually weighted plates that he can't really lift up unless he really tries to lift up, you know. But then again, he also has flimsy plates. Sorry, I can't say that properly. But I definitely would recommend you guys getting suction bowls, suction plates, weighted items, and just things that the baby cannot lift off. If you guys don't want to do a plate or a bowl, they actually have these little like placemats that have like ridges on it, so if you were to place food on it, it'll make it easier for the baby to grip and it won't slide all over their high chair. That's another option, but those are definitely things that I do recommend. Something else that I do recommend is one of those like placemat things for the high chair to sit on top of, so when food falls, it's like not all over your floor and stuff, it's just on that plastic. Personally, I never had one of those. Luckily, now that Grayson has been doing baby-led weaning for months, he's really not that messy at all. So there's really never much food on the floor, maybe like 2 to 3 pieces. If you guys watch my vlogs, then you would see that never really have food on the floor with him, which is a plus. Another thing is to get your child used to an open cup. Believe it or not, filling up an open cup to the top is better than filling it up with a little bit of liquid. Reason being, if there's only a little bit of liquid, your child is going to want to knock his or her head back, and that's just going to spill all over them. As to where when it's filled to the top, they're able to tip it a little bit and sip. So Grayson is still getting the concept of drinking out of a cup, but we actually got him like this little munchkin sipper that like when they put their mouth on it, it brings the water up as if it was a cup. So that's kind of like the training cup that we do use. But sometimes if I'm drinking like water out of a glass, then I'll offer it to him and he slowly gets the hang of that. He also can drink out of a straw and stuff like that, but they definitely start off with an open cup so that later on you could just give your child an open cup and they could drink from it with no problems. But that's pretty much like all the utensils. Oh no, that is not all the utensils. I am missing out on one of my favorite things ever. So Grayson has one of those bibs that can catch all of his food. So like if he like needs to spit something out, it just falls on the bib, not on his clothes. They also sell like smocks or like baby like shirts that are bibs. I was debating on getting that, and I'm happy I didn't because Grayson doesn't make that much of a mess. So the bibs definitely catch all his dirtiness super quick and easy. So definitely recommend those bibs. Some people even feed their baby without any clothes on and just the bib. Whichever works for you, you can do. But I just never like taking off his clothes because then he fights me to put it back on. But yeah, that's pretty much how I would say that I did baby-led weaning. You just have to be consistent. You cannot pressure your child. You just want to keep offering different options and offer the same option if you feel it's a little bit harder for them. So one thing or a quick story that I'm going to share is Grayson did not like avocados at all, not even purees or even as a whole to eat. So the way that I offer it to him is avocado toast, and he will eat it that way. So you have to like play around with like how your kid is going to eat something. So if they didn't like eggs, you can make French toast and they still get like their protein and eggs in that way. So there's just different variations. I do have a TikTok account where I post all of what Grayson eats in a day. I will have that so that you guys can follow me in case you need any inspiration on what to feed your kid. I try to post on there quite frequently, but right now there is quite a few different meal options that are on there that I think that you guys will find interesting and I also share a few other products that I like on there. But TikTok, yeah, is definitely where you're gonna find where Grayson eats and what he eats. But I just want to let you guys know that baby-led weaning is messy in the start, but it's definitely worth it in the end. You can push through it. Your kid is going to get it. And you're going to be happy when they're feeding themselves, and you can also sit down and eat a meal with them without having to be super tired or super hungry or anything like that. Your child will be feeding themselves and you will be feeding yourself, and it will just be beautiful and all happy. But yeah, you guys, this is the end of today's video. I hope you guys all enjoyed watching. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below, along with turning on my post notification bell, and I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye.